Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting's live coverage of the Original Rebels Racing League Hardline Transport Solution Truck Series, Outlaw Truck Series. Here at Las Vegas, this is the last race before the playoffs begin. So far we see Corey Bigley up at the top of the screen, and we're looking for an exciting race here tonight, as Las Vegas always provides some of the best racing with these trucks here on iRacing. Let's take a look at our points coming into tonight. We see Corey Hines up at the top of the board. Mike Kosick sits back in second. Jonathan Cofield, Andy Kurtz, Steve McDonald, Brandon Pollock, Fry Hubbard, Matt Teller, Billy Bigley, and Jared Reed. And then Matt Kleeman, Greg Froelich, Logan Monteith, Tyler Barnett, and Brett Bieber running back in 15th. Of course, Logan Monteith and Jared Reed, even though they're a little further back in the points, they are locked in to the championship, or to the playoffs, with their wins. So we got about, well, it looks like we got about no time left here in practice as we're getting ready to get qualifying underway. Just dealing with something on my end real quick. We'll be see out on track right now. The 82 of Corey Bigley, who is currently fastest in practice. Andy Kurtz, currently the top driver in our first couple laps of qualifying here. See us is out on track right now, making their qualifying attempt. Jared Reed just took the green flag. Of course, we want to thank everybody who's watching, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch. We do appreciate you tuning in here tonight for this truck doubleheader here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Jared Reed just finishing up his qualifying attempt. Let's see who else is out there on track. See Aaron Sayer just finished his qualifying attempt, currently back in the 20th position. Ryan Derrick just finishing up his qualifying attempt. Kai Shappett just went third on the board. As Ryan Derrick here on his second lap is only able to get himself up into the 20th position. Matt Tilder just making his way out on the track right now. And Vegas is a very unique track. It's a high-speed track, a lot of grip, a lot of bumps, a lot of character on this track. And you'll see that tonight as these trucks navigate this speedway. They can run all the way down to the apron through the front stretch like you're seeing Matt Telder do right here. But as you come down into turns 1 and 2, there's a bit of a bump. You see the truck get a little unstable there entering the turn. There's a big bump down there on the bottom, and that can really upset the truck, especially if you're running side by side with another driver. It can cause you to get a little out of shape. So watch for that here tonight, as Jonah Colbert and Brandon Wallace also making their qualifying attempts at the moment. Telder coming down across the stripe on his first lap. Only in the 22nd position currently. Down across the stripe, and Telder is going to jump up into the, well, only jump up into the 21st position, so not a major improvement for the driver of the 7 machine, Brandon Wallace, in that pink Reaper Racing machine, as it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so we will see lots of pink, I'm sure, today, as Wallace is going to cut it off after 1 lap. Jonah having some issues here, going real slow here on his first lap. See Greg Froelich in different colors than we normally see him. We normally see him in that white 71. Tonight we're going to see him in that mustard colored 71 machine. Trying to get himself into the playoffs here tonight. Froelich coming across the line for his second lap, and that's going to be good enough for the 14th position. So a good run for Greg, as I think Jonah's trying to set the slowest lap in history of the original Rebels here. With just about 3 minutes left in qualifying. See if he's able to creep across the line. There we go. Jonah Colbert running a blazing fast 2 minute and 5 second lap. Just a little bit off the pace that 31 machine is. He's going to reset here and get himself back on the pit road. So we want to thank, again, everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Let us know who you're rooting for today. We got the chat up on all 3 platforms. We can see you tuning in and chiming in here tonight, so don't be bashful. We love conversating with the crowd. Also, we want to thank our great partners that make this league possible. Of course, Hardline Transport Solutions as your series sponsor. Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Peg Leg Felts, Thunderstruck Super Series, and Kinder Farm and Ranch for the Wreckage Rewind. Of course, we want to thank some of our great sponsors as well, including the Butt Kicker. And Butt Kicker is an established and trusted leader in haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets you feel ultra-low frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. Butt Kicker's products' patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is the new and upgraded sim racing and haptic hardware that produces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out which one's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. There is a link down below in the description. Of course, I feel like I can't run without my Gamer Plus now. It definitely gives you not just that immersion, but that extra feel in the car that you normally don't get from other seat of the pants feel that you can't get when you're in a sim. So if you're looking for that little bit extra, it lets you feel when the wheels lock up or slide, engine revs, gear shifts. It really makes it immersive and actually helps out at the same time. So if that's what you're looking for, check out thebuttkicker.com. We got about 30 seconds left here in qualifying. Good evening, Mr. Kinder. Garrett's checking in the chat on YouTube. We do appreciate you tuning in from, I'm going to put up the air quotes here, work. As we all know, Kinder not able to run here on Sunday nights due to work schedules. But glad to see that he is able to take some time off from his busy schedule at work and join us here on Intensity Broadcasting. It looks like we got about no time left before we get qualifying. Taylor says he ain't working. There's a beer in his hand. You know, that would not surprise me one bit with Kinder. Actually, it would surprise me. We know it's not going to be beer in his hand. We all know that if he's going to have a drink in his hand, it's going to be a glass of Bullet whiskey. Let's get that straight. Cars are gridding up on the track. Let's take a look at our starting grid. And of course, your starting grid will have the Peg Leg Felts Pole Award winner here tonight. And starting on pole will be the 57 of Corey Hines, Jared Reed, starting from the second position. Kai Shappett back in third with Steve McDonald starting from the fourth position. Fifth, we'll find Corey Bigley and Fry Hubbard back in sixth with Andy Kurtz and Mike Kosick rounding out row number 4. Row 5 will be Greg Barnett and Tyler Weeks, and then Calvin Ruff and Brett Bieber round out your row 6. Rolling off from 13th will be the 19 of Matt Kleeman with Greg Froelich to his outside in 14th. Brandon Pollock in the 1. He'll roll off 15th with Jonathan Cofield in the 16th position. Travis Bieber back in the 18th position with Ryan Huff in 17th. Butch Taylor and Gary Wright round out your top 20. Ryan Derrick 21st, Matt Telder 22nd, Aaron Sayer in 23rd. Brandon Wallace will start from the 24th spot. Then back in 25th with a blazing fast lap, Jonah Cobert, and then Jerry LaGrange rounding out the rest of the field here at Las Vegas. We got Ginny in the chat saying that she's rooting for Steve McDonald. She's his #1 fan. I'm sorry, he or she, I can't tell. I apologize, but you always do a great job. I appreciate that. And let's go 68. So Ginny, glad to see you in the chat here tonight, rooting on that 68 machine. As we get ready to go green flag racing, we see that 4 machine of Kai Shappert, another one of those pink breast cancer awareness trucks. Gotta love to see that out on the track. But here we go. Coming down to the starting line, green flags in the air. Corey Hines immediately to that loud pedal. He's going to clear the 07 of Jared Reed as they make their way down into turns 1 and 2 for the first time. Reed's going to tuck back in line as Steve McDonald has Fry Hubbard all over the back bumper trying to push him around the 82 of Corey Bigley as they come down the backstretch for the first time. Kind of like a super speedway you see here. Everybody kind of lining up down on the bottom for this first lap. As Steve McDonald trapped up on the high side. Now, Corey Bigley comes up into the wall and McDonald causes the big one. The 58 of Cofield gets a little piece as well. Caution comes out for the first time. And that is going to bring up our first Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. Ginny's not going to want to see that on the YouTube here tonight as we take a look to see exactly what started with that. And that was really nothing McDonald could do right there. He had the 82 of Bigley. Looks like he. Oh, let's take a look here at the replay before we make any assumptions here. As they come down into the corner, we see Bigley down on the yeah, Bigley hit that bump. You see that truck oscillate as it hits the bump, pushes up the track into the 68 of McDonald. Shepard gets real loose down on the low side at the same time. And then they were 4 wide for a second. You see the 44 get a little piece of that as well. Mike Kosick caught up in that. Matt Kleeman, Kai Shepard's going around. See Brett Bieber just barely able to sneak through there. Cofield just got a little piece of it. Oh, the 9. That is Ryan Huff just sneaking through there as well. So a couple drivers already having to use their reset on the first lap of the race. Dang Lang Racing, that's Adam Lang, says Las Vegas strikes again. You know, it's kind of wild that we see a big one here at Las Vegas in the Rebels race when we didn't have a single big one in the Cup Series race today. So it's kind of fitting to have the big one here tonight. Going back through the chat here. Telder agrees. He works for himself, but it's whiskey. He's right. And Kinder says preach. So Kinder, it's almost like I know your drinking habits better than your Rebels partners here. So Charles Stevens says, what's up, Josh? Good to see you, Charles. I know you'll be in the next race. And just getting ready for this great race here at Las Vegas. But already we're seeing, as Dang Lang said, Las Vegas strikes again. We are going to see a lot of drafting here. These trucks punch a big hole in the air. So we'll see a lot of drafting. We might even see a little bit of side drafting, some slingshots, maybe some 2 and 3 wide racing as well. Thomas Sly says, I'll be last place in Rebels. Can't crock 31s. Well, I'm sure you'll run a better lap than Jonah Kober did in qualifying, as his best lap in qualifying was a 2-minute 5-second lap. So if you're going to be better than that, you should have no problem here tonight. Here we go. We're going to re-rack them, restack them, and get ready to refire them here at Las Vegas. Corey Hines going to choose to restart down on the low side. Jared Reed up on the high side, and Charles Hughes. Let's see, we got Josh Oswald says kill the 99. That's almost happened there in that first big wreck. Charles Stevens says, well, he's at work, so no whiskey tonight. You never know, it is Kinder. He might have himself a little flask or something hidden away there. So, but here we go. Pace truck getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Corey Hines down on the inside. Jared Reed up on the high side. Andy Kurtz, Fry Hubbard in row 2. Then Corey Bigley and Greg Barnett back in row number 3. As they come down into the restart zone. Green flags back in the air. We're back racing here at Las Vegas. And a big jump for Corey Hines this time. So he's able to get well out in front of Jared Reed as they turn down into turns 1 and 2. See some 3 wide racing already. We see the 114 of Travis Bieber with Ryan Huff and Matt Telder. These 3 were just 3 wide for a moment, but Bieber was able to climb out in front as we got some more 3 wide racing. A big move for Brandon Pollock as they were just 3-4 wide down the backstretch. Pollock, we saw him down on the apron earlier. Not really sure what happened to him, but looks like he might have got bumped out of line or something. But right now he's trying to make his way back through the field as Telder now has Ryan Huff all over the back bumper. And just behind, Jerry LaGrange up 15 positions already, trying to push his way up to the front as well. We got some battling up at the front, some drafting. As Corey Hines holding down that bottom lane, Jared Reed tucked in right behind. We see Andy Kurtz up on the high side trying to make something going. Don't get that rumor started, Kinder says. as Jared Reed way down on the bottom. Maybe that could be our next piece of merch there, Kinder. We can get a kinderonly.com flask up on the Intensity website. I'll talk to Dayton about that one. But we got a battle for the lead as Andy Kurtz up on the high side, trying to take over the lead. Up there by himself, we see Fry Hubbard getting a bit of a run here on the back bumper of Andy Kurtz as they go down into turns 1 and 2. Tyler Weeks hitting pit road, having some issues as we got a gaggle of cars up here running. Our top, that's going to be our top 7. Basically, you could throw under a blanket. Lots of side-by-side racing as Corey Hines has Andy Kurtz trying to challenge for the lead. And as they come across the line, Kurtz is going to lead that lap by just a nose. As this pack continues to run aggressively side by side, the rest of the field starting to get a little more strung out single file as we see the field come on by. We do see this battle right here. It's Ryan Huff. I'm sorry, that's Mike Kosick and Kevin Ruff battling back for the 19th position, as that was a battle as both those drivers are caught up in that first wreck. And Kurtz has fully cleared both Corey Hines and now Corey Bigley, able to clear Hines as well as they go down into turns 3 and 4. So Hines kind of just stuck down there on the bottom, not able to get that run, that momentum that both Kurtz and Bigley were able to have up on the high side. You see one set of drivers down on the white line, the second set up on that first seam, trying to avoid that big bump that's in the middle of the turn there. And now the rest of the field's starting to catch back up. They were all running single file, and now we're starting to see this front group be much larger than the 7 it was originally. Speed drivers making some moves back through the field. We see Steve McDonald already back in the 14th position, crawling his way back up towards the front. Brandon Wallace right in front as well, trying to get himself towards the front. Matt Kleeman, who's caught up in that early wreck, currently running back in the 21st position. Mike Kosick is kind of stalled out here behind Jonah Colbert back in 18th. So neither one of those drivers able to get anything going to get themselves back towards the front. But at the front, man, what a wild gaggle of cars up here. That's the best way to describe this mess up here. As we see them all running different lines, trying to find their way around the track. We see Kurtz and Bigley running a little bit higher up the track than some of the other drivers here. See Travis Bieber up on that high side trying to make something happen here. And Brett Bieber up in the mix as well. He's down on the low side. Brett kind of working his way through the field, was currently in that second group. Weren't really talking about him, and now we see him challenging Fry Hubbard for that third position down on the low side. Already up 9 positions and in a position to start battling here for the lead. So both Biebers really enjoying this racetrack here tonight, able to get themselves both up into the top 5. As Corey Bigley has Fry Hubbard challenging for that second position. Ooh, Bigley almost pushes up the track again, almost up in the side of Fry Hubbard. So Bigley really been struggling down in the corner, navigating those bumps. as Fry Hubbard's able to clear the 82 and move himself up into the second position. And now Fry Hubbard is going to challenge for the lead. Hubbard with a head of steam down off of turn number 2 there. Side by side for the lead. Hubbard down on the bottom. Kurtz up on the high side. Hubbard able to take that low lane, that shorter way around the track. And he's going to take over the lead here at Las Vegas on lap number 18. Kurtz right back to the back bumper, trying to cross him over, but just not close enough to make anything happen as they go down into turns 1 and 2. Corey Hines in a bit of a backward slide right now. He's currently got Travis Bieber up on the high side going by. And that's going to move Corey Hines back into the 6th position. You see Jared Reed, who started up on the front row, now making his way back towards the front as well. Currently runs back in the 11th position, but he's trying to get around the 9 of Ryan Huff. As it looks like Corey Hines is going to lose another position to the 7 of Matt Telder. It doesn't look like Hines has been up into the wall. That truck is very clean, so I don't think he's got any damage to that thing. I think he just may have burnt off his front tires just a little too quickly on that first run, as Andy Kurtz was able to get back around Fry Hubbard to retake the lead. And Corey Bigley right there on the back bumper of Hubbard, trying to move himself forward as well. Here, almost wide open all the way around the track, just giving that barely lifting off the throttle to get that truck woe down enough to get it into the corner. As Fry Hubbard is trying to take over the lead yet again. Up on the high side of Andy Kurtz, down across the stripe, and Hubbard's going to lead this lap. But here comes Kurtz fighting back hard on the inside. Bigley now to the outside of Kurtz, trying to take over would be the second position here. Charles Stevens says, let's pump up the intensity. These drivers are pumping up the intensity on their own. And unfortunately, I do not have static cameras here at Las Vegas, so I don't have a pump up the intensity type camera system here tonight. We give you the sights and sounds from the far view camera here. We'll crank this up a little bit. We can pump up the intensity with these camera views right here. So some great views from around the track here as we ride along with Ryan Derrick, who's trying to get around the 808 of Brett Bieber. Derrick down on the low side. He's got Ryan Huff and Brandon Wallace to compete with right there as well. And Corey Hines still trying to hang on here as Jonathan Cofield has just went around to take over the 6th position. And now the field's starting to get single file again as we see the leaders here, Fry Hubbard and Corey Bigley, 1st and 2nd. Andy Kurtz is now fallen back into the 3rd position. So just past a quarter of the way through the race. We've got some great battles all over the track right now as we see Jonathan Cofield getting around Brett Bieber, move him up into the 7th position. But here comes Brett back down on the low side, trying to take that position back away. We're starting to see the tires go away just a little bit. It's not that these drivers are really having to do a whole lot of lifting in the corner, but they just don't have the ability to keep it locked down on the bottom like we saw on fresher tires. As Brett Bieber and the 99 of Brandon Wallace go out. Oh, big move for Ryan Derrick, trying to cut down underneath the 88 or 808, excuse me. Just wasn't quite close enough to make that move. Andy Kurtz trying to run back down Corey Bigley. It looks like Kurtz might have a little bit of damage to the right side of his truck. It could be the paint job he's running, but it did look like there was a little scrape on the side of that 5 machine. We'll see as he comes by here. Nope, it's just the design of the truck. So fortunately, no damage to that 5 machine. And I imagine pit stops should be coming up relatively soon. We did have that early caution, but I believe, and somebody who I know is going to run in the 2nd race would know a little better than me, but I imagine pit stops should be coming up between laps 45 and 55. Dangling Races says going to have to make it to 50 if it stays green the rest of the way. You know, I agree with you, but I kind of disagree with you as well. I think they might have to push it a little further than that because they did have that caution that came out, so which allowed them to extend their fuel run just a little bit. So I think the target right now is going to be more closer to the 55 range. Good evening, Josh. I'm rooting for Andy Kurtz and his #1 fan from Mississippi. Thank you, Eddie. I do appreciate the kind words. And go 05. And Eddie, you missed your boy Jonah's blazing fast lap in qualifying. Ran a 2-minute, 5-second lap to qualify back in the 24th position. So it looks like he's doing a little bit better now here in the race. Has a better race pace than he did qualifying speed. Currently up 10 positions into the 15th position. And currently going around the 07 of Jared Reed and continuing to march himself up towards the front. Ryan Huff has the 99 of Brandon Wallace all over the back bumper. Brandon Wallace trying to take a look down to the inside, but not quite close enough to make that move happen. Up front, Corey Bigley challenging for the lead. He's going to clear Fry Hubbard off of turn number 4 and give Corey Bigley the lead as they come across the line on lap number 37. And now Kurt's right back into this mix as well. You see he's running right on the back bumper. Fry Hubbard's going to take a look down to the inside or try to keep that low lane into turn number 3. That's going to allow Kurtz to use that high lane momentum to get around that 14. So move Andy Kurtz up into second. Speaking of Steve McDonald, not having as good of a run as he was hoping. Currently sits back in the 23rd position. He is the second truck, one lap down. So battling with Gary Wright. Gary Wright is currently the Lucky Dog truck. Is now Andy Kurtz to the back bumper of Bigley, trying to get around that 82 machine to retake the lead. Brandon Wallace taking a look down to the inside of Ryan Huff. This is a battle for the 8th position as Huff is just a little too strong right now up on that high side, a little further back. See Jonah Colbert trying to work around the 28 of Jerry LeGrand to take over that 13th position. We've got drivers coming down onto pit road. So early pit stops for Andy Kurtz, Corey Bigley, Travis Bieber, Jonah Colbert on pit road as well. Greg Froelich hitting pit road. So we know we're saying at least 50 laps would be the window here, but it looks like the driver's coming in just a little bit earlier than that. So that's going to make this a 2-stop race for a lot of drivers. You know, there are a couple drivers out there that are really going to try to push the fuel run. Brandon Wallace is always one that we see stay out to the very, very end. More drivers down on pit road. Ryan Derrick, Greg Barnett, Jerry LeGrand all hitting pit road now as well. As Corey Hyde is going to retake the lead from Fry Hubbard, and here comes Matt Telder looking down to the inside. Brett Bieber coming to pit road. We see the 44 coming off of pit road there. That was Tyler Weeks in the 44, who's multiple laps down right now. Aaron Sayer also down on pit road. And Brandon Wallace still battling here with Ryan Huff. Butch Taylor just making his way down on the pit road. So I think some of these guys were using the short pit so they don't have to take as much gas for that last pit stop. And we see these top 10 trucks out here trying to save as much fuel as they can and maybe stretch this to a one-stop race. So interesting strategy, almost as if you could say they're rolling the dice here in Las Vegas. You can also see as the 21 goes on through, that's Gary Wright goes on by Brandon Wallace and Ryan Huff, just how valuable these new tires are. Here comes the 44 of Tyler Weeks. When I see the 44 and I see the red and black, I immediately think of Manzo. But I know that's Tyler Weeks in that truck. Here goes by the 3 of Mike Kosick. And Fry Hubbard now making his way down onto pit road. Ryan Huff also down onto pit road. That's going to leave Corey Hines out in the lead. It doesn't sound like Hines is lifting or doing anything different here. Also doesn't look like my Nightbot is working properly here. So Matt Teller on pit road. Jonathan Cofield now making his way down to his pit stall. Corey Hines now hits pit road from the lead. That's going to give the lead to Mike Kosick. And that pink truck of Brandon Wallace further back is currently who Kosick is battling with for position. Jared Reed, Matt Kleeman, the only drivers left to come down onto pit road. We know Kosick was involved in that lap 1 incident, so he might have a little bit more fuel as now he's making his way down onto pit road. Brandon Wallace right behind as well. Jared Reed coming down onto pit road. And Matt Kleeman down onto pit road. So as it all cycles around, we'll see the 5 of Andy Kurtz, your leader, with a massive lead over second. 1 second over Travis Bieber, and I say that's massive because here at Las Vegas, where the draft is so huge, you really need to be tucked up with somebody here, as we see Corey Bigley trying to make a move around Travis Bieber, and they are quickly catching up to Andy Kurtz, who has, I believe that's Kai Shappett and the 44 of Tyler Weeks. See Jerry LeGrand and Matt Telder here, along with Greg Froelich. Froelich up into the 7th position. I see Froelich side by side with Telder. Froelich trying to hold on to that 7th position, trying to get himself a position in the playoffs as well. We see Corey Hines now making it 3 wide down on the apron. He's going to have to back out of it as Greg Froelich was holding his own in the middle lane there. Wise decision from Corey Hines to back out of it there and try again on this lap. And Fronek does not want to give up that 8th position, but now Hines down to the bottom. And, almost some contact between Fronek and Hines. Here comes Hubbard, now way down on the apron, trying to get around Fronek. Ooh, almost some contact between the 71 and the 14. Jerry Lagrange now able to move on by that 71 machine as well. Now Telder has Corey Hines all over his back bumper as Hines going to use the inside lane to get position on Telder as they come through turns 3 and 4. Down towards the front straightaway. Here comes Fry Hubbard as well. Meanwhile, up front, Andy Kurtz continues to lead, but now Corey Bigley and Travis Bieber are within tow, as we are just past halfway, and it still is anybody's race. We know a few drivers are still going to have to pit at least one more time. I'm sure there's drivers out there trying to save as much fuel as they can. One driver is not saving anything, up 21 positions. Is the 31 of Jonah Colbert up into the 4th spot. So Jonah just quietly making his way through the field. I don't know if that qualifying time was just a challenge to him to get him to drive through the field here or what. But currently the fastest truck on the track at the moment. As Corey Bigley all over the back bumper of Andy Kurtz trying to retake the lead here on lap number 58. Don't forget to join us after this one's over for another exciting trucks race with the Original Rebels Racing League Whole Heating and Sheet Metal Rebels Truck Series. We see Travis Bieber taking a look down to the inside. It's also their last race of the regular season, so you're not going to miss that one. Check us out here. That's going to go off at 10 p.m. Eastern Time following the conclusion of this race. So Bigley was challenging Andy Kurtz for the lead, but just not quite close enough to make that happen. So he's going to have to regroup and try it all over again. A little bit further back, we see Corey Hines, Matt Telder, and Fry Hubbard all racing for position. These are the first drivers of that group that stayed out longer and pit a little bit later. So Fry Hubbard, Matt Telder, Corey Hines, all on laps 47, 48, 49 respectively. Andy Kurtz, Corey Bigley, Travis Bieber, Jonah Colbert all came down on lap number 40. So these guys do have about 7 lap fresher tires than our leaders do. Doesn't look like they're trying to save much fuel out there, though, as Telder and Hubbard go side by side. Hubbard now fighting down on the inside underneath Corey Hines. He's trying to take away what is the 7th position. Now Telder right here trying to get through, trying to get around Hines as well. So you've seen Hines all night tonight really have that short run speed, but not able to maintain the run as long as some of these other drivers have been able to tonight. So we see Jonah Colbert now within 0.3 of a second of 3rd place. Travis Bieber. And Steve McDonald now here in this mix as well. He came out of nowheres, and now he's battling. As he's currently in the 9th position. Corey Bigley, Travis Bieber now battling side by side. This is a battle for second. That's what Andy Kurtz wants to see. Those two going side by side, allowing him a little bit of breathing room. Dang Lang said that he just spoke with, I'm not sure who he spoke with, but saving fuel and tires. So, probably talking about Corey Hines there. As we were talking about him not having the long run speed, but if he's saving fuel and tires, that would make a ton of sense. And yeah, he just confirmed that is Hines that is out there trying to save as much fuel and tires as he can, as Jonah Coburn has now moved himself up into the 3rd position. So we ride along here with Corey Hines, and we'll listen. Just backing it out a little bit earlier than the rest of the field. You hear him driving that truck like there's an egg underneath the gas pedal. So using as little throttle input as he can to try to save as much fuel as he can. As we see out front, Andy Kurtz trying to get his way around. That is the 21 of Gary Wright. And Jonah now up to the back bumper of Corey Bigley, as these three run nose to tail 1st through 3rd. Now the big question is when do the rest of these drivers come down pit road? These drivers up here like Andy Kurtz and Bigley and Colbert and Bieber, who all pit early on lap 40. When do they come in and take their final service? Because we know that they're not going to be able to make it to the end. Can drivers like Corey Hines and Matt Telder and Brett Bieber save enough fuel to make it to the end? Put them in position here to win. As Jonah was just about to take a look down to the inside, Corey Bigley. Bigley too far out in front for Jonah, as Jonah now makes his way down onto pit road. So that answers that question, when the 31 was going to come down pit road. It is now. Steve McDonald also down on pit road. Greg Froelich to pit road. Oh, Brandon Pollock almost runs into the back of the 71 trying to get on pit road. Here comes your leader, Andy Kurtz, along with Corey Bigley and Travis Bieber down on the pit road. Bigley way out of shape getting down on the pit road. So that's going to give the lead over to Fry Hubbard. Now, Fry Hubbard, Corey Hines, Matt Telder, those drivers that pit much later in the run. Pit on lap 47 through 49. So they've got a little bit more fuel in the tank. As now Fry Hubbard makes his way down on the pit road. As I figured he would have stayed out much longer. So that's going to give Corey Hines and Matt Telder some breathing room as they have 2.3 seconds back to third place. Brett Bieber in the 8:08. More drivers on pit road. Matt Kleeman, Jonathan Cofield, and Gary Wright all on pit road as well. Here comes Brett Bieber to pit road along with Ryan Huff to pit road. So how much fuel has Corey Hines been able to save? And when is he going to make his way down onto pit road? Anybody who takes tires on this stop, which it looks like most drivers are, taking at least 2 tires. Matt Kleeman took 2 tires. Everybody else seems to have taken 4. So the longer that Corey Hines stays out on these tires, the more of a disadvantage that he's going to be in. We saw last time by, Corey Hines ran a 31.72. Jonah Coburn just ran a 30.76. So Jonah ran a full second a lap faster. And with 25 laps to go, that's going to be giving up a ton of time on the racetrack. I don't think that Corey Hines, if he stays out, would be able to make back up after pit stops. And I think he might be listening to me because he's now making his way down on the pit road. Gives the lead to the 7 of Matt Telder. Here comes Telder now on the pit road. We hear him downshifting and slowing down to make his way. Trying to get the load down to that very slow 55-mile-an-hour pit speed limit. So that's going to give the lead to Brandon Wallace. Mike Kosick runs back in second in that Jack Daniels machine, and then Jared Reed runs back in third in the other Jack Daniels machine. Matt Telder off of pit road. Here comes Butch Taylor. Butch currently on pit road getting his service done. It looks like Wallace really trying to save some fuel here. Hear him off the throttle, on the throttle. Off of turn number 2. Hear how long Brandon Wallace is off the throttle there. As opposed to drivers like Jonah Cobert who are just on pit road. Here, Jonah immediately back to the throttle. All over the back bumper of Andy Kurtz. And when it's all said and done, I believe this will probably be your battle for the lead between Andy Kurtz and Jonah Colbert. So we have 20 laps to go as they come across the line this time. not a whole lot of time to try to make a pit strategy work. As last time by, Brandon Wallace ran almost 2 seconds slower than the first truck that is on fresh tires. As Jared Reed is now just going around Brandon Wallace to take over that lead. So Wallace really backing down his speeds here, trying to stretch it to the end. Same with Mike Kosick, just ran a 33.15. So drivers really rolling the dice here, trying to gamble, trying to make it to the end. I think I just heard Kosick shutting the truck off completely. Let's listen here as he goes down into turn number 1. That's one way you can definitely save tires, is if you're not on the throttle, you're off the gas completely and have the engine clutched. You're going to burn a whole lot less fuel than the drivers that are running full tilt around this track. There's battles throughout the field here. We see Ryan Huff and Brett Bieber. This is a battle for 14th and 15th. As the field is really on mixed match tires right now. Some drivers with 2, some drivers with 4, some drivers still out there on very old tires. And really starting to see that come into play here. As Andy Kurtz is running down the 58 of Jonathan Cofield, who is a lap down. We have just 15 laps to go. Cofield on those fresher tires has the 3 of Mike Kosick, which is your 3rd place runner right now. Again, trying to save fuel, but he's going to lose that position to Andy Kurtz. So Kosick now in a position where he may not be able to get onto the podium, but he may be able to salvage a great finish here tonight using a little bit of strategy. As they're coming up on the 99 of Brandon Wallace, who is also on that fuel-saving strategy. And Kurtz going to drive up to the lead. And Jonah Cobert's going to sit back in second. As Jared Reed really trying to stretch this one out, but just not able to keep the speed up as he's got Brandon Wallace right behind him, trying to take over that 3rd position. And Mike Kosick back in 5th, really trying to save fuel now as well. Kosick all over the back bumper of Brandon Wallace. That's going to move the 3 up into the 4th position. Wallace, though, up 20 positions as they run right now. We see Corey Bigley trying to push his way through here as well. We see Aaron Sayer making his way down onto pit road for his final service. And Andy Kurtz has Jonah Colbert right there on the back bumper as they come across the stripe. We're going to have just 10 laps to go. Cofield, the lap truck here, trying to stay out of the way of the leaders as Colbert all over the back bumper of Andy Kurtz. Will he try to make the move down here into turns 3 and 4? No, he will not. But Jonah's been so strong down into turns 1 and 2. We'll see if Jonah tries to make that move, or if he's able to get a little bit closer to try to make that move with just a handful of laps to go. A little further back, Travis Bieber, Corey Hines battling side by side. It's a battle for 4th and 5th. Right in front, they have Corey Bigley. So this right here, these 3 trucks, that is the battle for the final podium spot. As Jonah Colbert continues to try to work on this 5 machine of Andy Kurtz to try to take the lead and get the win here at Las Vegas. Jonah looks like he's fallen off just a little bit through that 5 machine of Kurtz. Running identical lap times, those two. Next time by, we'll have just 5 laps to go. Can Andy Kurtz hang on to it, or Jonah Colbert going to be able to steal the win here tonight? Not too much going on throughout the field as Andy Kurtz and Jonah Colbert have the best battle out on track right now. As I say that, Corey Hines has trying to get around the 82 of Corey Bigley to take over that final podium position. Although they are not too far behind the leaders. The leaders just making their way across the stripe now. And Corey Hines reeling in our leaders. And Corey Hines is on 2 tires where our leaders did take 4 tires. So we'll see if these 2 tires pay off for this 82 machine for this 57 machine as he's working his way to the inside of Corey Bigley. And we have just 3 laps to go. Kurtz and Colbert up at the front. Bigley and Hines run back in 3rd and 4th. Who's going to get that final podium spot here tonight as they work their way through turns 3 and 4? And who's going to get that top spot on the podium as they come across the stripe for 2 laps to go? Colbert trying to take a look down to the inside of Kurtz, but just not close enough to make that move happen. So come down the backstretch. They'll have one more attempt at it down the backstretch as they go into turns 3 and 4. And as they come to the stripe, white flag will be in the air. 1 lap to go here at Las Vegas. Down into turns 1 and 2. Does Colbert have anything for Kurtz? He's going to drive it in hard. Keep it down on the low side. Pushes up the track. Tries to get the momentum up on the high side, but not quite able to do it. Down into turns 3 and 4 for the last time. Jonah's trying to get back to that back bumper, but as they come off of turn number 4 and to the stripe, Andy Kurtz will be your winner here tonight at Las Vegas. Jonah Colbert going to come home second. Corey Hines comes across the line in third. Travis Bieber and Corey Bigley round out your top 5. But tonight, your winner, in typical Andy Kurtz fashion, getting the win in that 5 machine. Kurtz is going to come down to the front stretch, to the start-finish line. He's going to celebrate his victory here tonight. Just a swing and a miss on the Rebels Demolition Derby at the end here. Trying to see if the 99 of Brandon Wallace is still on track. No, he's not. There's Kai. And Pollock getting launched up into the air as well. So let's take a look at the final results. And Andy Kurtz getting the win here tonight. Jonah Colbert comes home second. Our biggest mover up 23 positions from where he started. Third is Corey Hines. Fourth will be Travis Bieber and Corey Bigley round out your top 5. Friday Hubbard, after leading a big portion of the race, comes home in 6th. Matt Telder in 7th. Calvin Ruff, Steve McDonald, who was caught up in that early first lap wreck, brings it home 9th, and Ryan Huff back in the 10th position. Brett Bieber comes home 11th. Greg Froelich with a great run up into 12th. Mike Kosick in 13th. Brandon Wallace and Matt Kleeman round out your top 15. 16th, Brendan Pollock. 17th, Ryan Derrick. Jared Reed back in the 18th position. 19th belongs to Jonathan Cofield, and Butch Taylor comes home in 20th. 21st is Aaron Sayer with Gary Wright in 22nd. Jerry LaGrange in 23rd. Tyler Weeks, Kai Shappett, and Greg Barnett make up the rest of the field here tonight at Las Vegas as we get ready to talk to our top 3 here tonight. Starting with your 3rd place finisher, Corey Hines. I don't see Corey sitting up in the waiting room, so we'll give him just a moment. And it doesn't look like he is going to be joining us here, so let's talk with our 2nd place finisher, Jonah Colbert. Jonah, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Josh, what's up?
Man, I got to say your race pace tonight really made a huge difference over that qualifying pace you had here tonight. Is that the secret, trying to save as much as you could in the truck and start in the back and work your way up to the front, or were you just looking for a challenge here tonight?
Yeah, man, we got one of them Brandon Wallace motors in the truck for qualifying, and as you can see, it just wasn't very good. Could barely even top 2 miles an hour, and yeah, just had to start from the back. So we did an engine swap. You know, got the right Ford motor in there, and we just got lucky on that caution and drove through the field, I guess.
Yeah, that first caution coming out on lap 1, that was a pretty big one here. I know in the chat, Adam Lang called it Las Dega. How did you see that wreck in front of you, and what did you do to kind of spook you a little bit into because it came out so early that the rest of the race might be quite the same?
Starting dead last helped, so I had a nice view of the whole track in front of me, and then I saw they were 3 or 4 wide or something. I don't know. They were getting up there and getting antsy, so I just kind of let off the throttle, and they started wrecking. And yeah, just came to a stop and let everybody get settled out. And then after that, it was just deciding it was going to be a 2-stop race and kind of undercutting a bunch of people. I know a bunch of people stayed out trying to push their fuel as long as they could, but it just made the fresh tires made such a big difference. I was able to make up a ton of spots on that undercut, and then yeah, it got me up there in the top 5 and allowed me to race with those guys. So
Yeah, battling for Andy Kurtz for the win there. Did you have anything for Andy there as the laps were winding down?
no, no, I tried. And I was joking with him that after we came out on that final pit stop, that final pit cycle, I was like, man, I should have taken the lead from you whenever I had had a chance, because on fresh tires you can get a run kind of like Talladega or Daytona. It's just the draft, and you can get a run anywhere you want to and pass them. But once the tires wear out, you're stuck behind them in the dirty air. There was like an air bubble. You get within about a tenth of them, and it pushes your truck backwards, and you couldn't do anything. So I tried to drive it in as hard as I could on that last lap. I didn't even lift in turn 1, and I still couldn't get to him. So yeah, congrats to him because he saved just enough tire and held me off. So
Well, a great run here tonight, getting yourself P2. Before I let you go, anyone thank any shouts you got to give here tonight?
yeah, shout out to Matt Clemens for putting this series together. He does a lot of work keeping this series in line and making sure everybody stays in line. So shout out to him. Shout out to all the guys at Reaper that let me hang out in their chat tonight and run with them, and of course Andy Kurtz on the win.
Awesome, man. And again, good luck in the playoffs here as we move on to actually. Doesn't look weren't able to qualify for the playoffs, were you?
No, I'm running Rebels. It's only my second race I've run in Outlaw. So
Gotcha. I thought you ran a few more. So, well, does this translate over to the Rebels race now in the next race?
well, we'll find out. I guess if it's nighttime, it might, but it looks like it's going to be a day race over in Rebels. So everything I just learned is probably going to go out the window. So
Gotcha. Well, I hope to see you in the next one, and good luck as we move on to the Rebels race.
all right, thanks.
So that was your. Sorry, I was trying to put something up on the screen and didn't realize I had it in the wrong mode here, but that was your second place finisher, Jonah Colbert. Let's bring in your winner here tonight, Andy Kurtz, as you had a little preview there of the playoff standings. And Andy, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Man, great run for you here tonight, using that undercut just like Jonah did to get yourself up in the victory lane. Saw a lot of different strategies out there tonight. Some drivers trying to save it to the very, very end. Did was there ever a thought in how the strategy was going to change through the race?
No, not really. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what to do. I was talking to my teammates Travis and Brett during the race to try to figure out if we could do one stop or not. But I'm not too good with my on-the-fly fuel mileage calculations. But from what we from what we gathered, we should have hit it twice in order to make it. So we weren't going to make it on one stop. So that's what we did, and then we split it. I think I was the first one um, to pit, and I brought everyone down that first run, and then wanted to do that again, but Jonah beat us to it. So pitted the lap after that, and it was just a race with Jonah there through the end. So it was fun. Really tough to pass. The tires, I mean, you kind of run wide open on the bottom for a couple laps, then you're move up the track a little, but there's not a lot of off throttle time, so it's tough to make passes. You got to be aggressive. So I knew I wanted to keep the lead. That'd be the easiest thing to do in order to win. So just not letting anyone ahead of me. So was able to do that.
So we saw the incident on the first lap there. Looked like it was caused by one of those bumps there in turns 3 and 4. This track has a lot of character, as I mentioned in the pre-race. A lot of bumps out there. Does that really change the way you have to race people out there, especially when trying to get around lap traffic or racing side by side with other drivers?
Yeah, that first lap was real weird. I mean, I almost did what everyone else did. I don't felt. I mean, it was like a Daytona race in the Cup Series when it rained and everyone wrecked in turn 1. That's kind of what it felt like. We all just started spinning. So I almost wrecked with them. I don't know what that was all about. I don't know if that's just because we were going quicker in the pack on cold tires or what, but that did not happen in practice at all. So yeah, so that was weird. But yeah, the bumps were really bad in 1 and 2. Jonah was a lot better than me in 1 and 2. I felt like on that last run he was really closing, and I was just blocking him. Knew if I would get down in front of him, he would just lose his momentum and get tight. So that's what I was doing. But he was quicker than me there. I didn't really want to run the bottom, but I had to because he was. And then 3 and 4 was a lot easier. I felt like not as big bumps in that turn, but yeah, 1 and 2 was tough.
Well, getting the win here tonight in front of your biggest fan, Eddie Smith. At least that's what he said in the chat tonight. So,
Oh man.
yeah, so congratulations on the win. Good luck moving into the playoffs. How do you like your chances this season in the I know you're a defending, not the defending, but a defending Truck Series champion. So, how do you like your chances this time around?
And that's cool. Well, thanks, Eddie. Yeah, I think it should be good. I think I'm gonna miss one of the races, possibly. So I really got to make sure I win. Yeah, I think I'm gonna miss Bristol. So got to make sure I do well or win or something. Figure out something with the admins if I'm not gonna pass on, but keep on being able to be in the playoffs. But all the tracks look good. Otherwise, I like Atlanta. So if I do make it, if I end up making it to the Final Four, I think that'll be a good one. Glad that it's old Atlanta. Um, yeah, should be good. We'll see.
Well, before I let you go, Andy, anyone you want to thank, any shots you got to give here thank
I just want to thank you for putting on a great broadcast as always. Go rewatch this here. Always a lot of fun. Thank all the admins for putting this on. Let me race with everyone every week pretty much. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a little bit over a year now doing this, so I know it's a lot of time on their end. Just to let us, let guys like me just show up and hop in and race with them. So I really appreciate that. I want to thank Hardline Transport Solutions for sponsoring this. I want to thank everyone in this series for putting on such a good race. Thought the guys are always really respectful. Lap cars, guys are racing with. So that's awesome, and it was a really clean race overall. So couldn't ask for more.
Awesome, man. Well, again, thanks for the kind words. Good luck as the season progresses, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thanks.
So that was your winner, Andy Kurtz. I know I already had it up on the screen. I'm going to put it back up there again. This is the playoff picture going into next week. Corey Hines, Mike Kosick, Andy Kurtz, Jonathan Cofield, Steve McDonald, Fry Hubbard, Billy Bigley, Brandon Pollock, Matt Telder, Jared Reed, Gregory Froelich, and Matt Kleeman. The 12 drivers that will be competing for a championship starting next week at Auto Club Speedway. So thank you very much for joining us here tonight for the Original Rebels Racing League's production of the Original Rebels Racing League Hardline Transport Solutions Outlaw Truck Series. Again, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. Don't forget to check out our affiliates down below, including ECI Racing and The Butt Kicker. If you're looking for that extra feel while you're driving, check out thebuttkicker.com. Join us back here, in about 25 minutes' time, as we're going to get the second race of our doubleheader underway. So join us back here in a few. And as our boy Atlee Hatman Weiss would say, over